Hey everyone, this is the Bird alongside with the Beard, and this is our top 5 FPS games from before 2010.
Oh, yeah.
Starting with number 5, Bioshock. Bioshock is a 2007 first-person shooter game developed by 2K Boston, now known as Irrational Games, and 2K Australia, and published by 2K Games. Bioshock was set in the 1960s. The player guides the protagonist Jack after his airplane crashes in the ocean near the bathysphere terminus that leads to the underwater city of Rapture. Built by the business magnate Andrew Ryan, the city was intended to be an isolated utopia, but the discovery of Adam, a genetic material which can be used to grant superhuman powers, initiated the city's turbulent decline. Jack tries to find a way to escape, fighting through hordes of Adam-obsessed enemies, the iconic, deadly Big Daddies, while engaging with the few sane humans that remain, and eventually learning of Rapture's past. The player as Jack can defeat foes in several ways by using weapons, utilizing plasmids that give unique powers, and by turning Rapture's defenses against them. Bioshock includes elements of role-playing games, giving the players different approaches in engaging the enemies, such as stealth, as well as moral choices of saving or killing other characters. Additionally, the game and biopunk theme borrow concepts from the survival horror genre, most notably the Resident Evil series.
Number 4, Battlefield 1942. Battlefield 1942 is a 2002 first-person shooter video game developed by DICE and published by EA. In-game, players assume the role of one of the 5 classes of infantry: Scout, Assault, Anti-Tank, Medic, and Engineer. Players also have the ability to fly various World War II fighter aircraft bombers, navigate capital ships, submarines, and aircraft carriers, man coastal artillery defenses, drive tanks, APCs, and jeeps, and take control of anti-aircraft guns and mounted machine guns. Each battle takes place on one of several maps located in a variety of places in famous battlefields in all the major theaters of World War II: the Pacific, European, North African, Eastern, and Italian fronts. The maps in Battlefield 1942 are based on the real battles and are somewhat realistically portrayed. The gameplay of Battlefield 1942 generally has more of a cooperative focus than previous games of this nature, and it is not only important to kill the opposition, but also holds certain control points around the map. Capturing control points allows the team to reinforce itself by enabling players and vehicles to spawn in a given area. Number 3, Star Wars Battlefront 2. Star Wars Battlefront 2 is a 2005 first-person shooter and third-person shooter video game based on the Star Wars film franchise. Developed by Pandemic Studios and published by LucasArts, it's a sequel to 2004's Star Wars Battlefront. The game features new vehicles, characters, game mechanics, maps, and missions compared to the original Battlefront. Unlike its predecessor, Battlefront 2 features a more narrative-based campaign, retelling portions of the Star Wars story from a point of view of a veteran Imperial Stormtrooper, reminiscing about the historic duty and service of both the Galactic Republic and the Galactic Empire. Gameplay additions over Battlefront include the use of Jedi and Sith, additional game modes such as Hero Assault and objective-based space battles. The general objective in most missions is to eliminate the enemy faction, although there are game modes with a different objective, such as Capture the Flag mode. Like its predecessor, Star Wars Battlefront, the game is split up into 2 eras: the Clone Wars, with battling taking place between the Galactic Republic and the Confederacy, and the Galactic Civil War, which battles between the Rebel Alliance and the Galactic Empire. Battlefront 2 introduces a new special class, Heroes, that allows players to control iconic characters from their Star Wars universe. Heroes were featured in the original Battlefront, but only as NPCs that spawned randomly during battles.
Number 2, GoldenEye 007. GoldenEye 007 is a 1997 first-person shooter developed by Rare and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo 64. Based on the 1995 James Bond film GoldenEye, it features a single-player campaign in which the player controls Secret Intelligence Service agent James Bond through a series of levels to prevent a criminal syndicate from using a satellite weapon against London to cause a global financial meltdown. Objectives range from recovering items to destroying objects, defeating enemies, or rescuing hostages. Some objectives may also require the player to use high-tech gadgets. GoldenEye 007 features a multiplayer mode where up to 4 players can compete in several deathmatch scenarios via split screen. The game was praised for its visuals, gameplay, depth and variety, and multiplayer mode. It is considered an important game in the history of first-person shooters for demonstrating the viability of game consoles as platforms for the genre, and for signaling a transition from the then-standard Doom approach to a more realistic style. It pioneered features such as atmospheric single-player missions, stealth elements, and a console multiplayer deathmatch mode.
And number 1 for top 5 FPS shooters before 2010, Halo series. I have to do this. Anyway, Halo Combat Evolved is a 2001 first-person shooter game developed by Bungie and published by Microsoft Game Studios. It was released as a launch game for Microsoft's Xbox video game console November 15, 2001. Halo is set in the 26th century, with the player assuming the role of Master Chief, a cybernetically enhanced super soldier. The Chief is accompanied by Cortana, an artificial intelligence. Players battle aliens as they attempt to uncover the secrets of Halo, a ring-shaped artificial world. Halo is a critical and commercial success, and it is often praised as one of the greatest video games ever made. Its sequel, Halo 2, was released for the original Xbox in 2004, and the game spawned over a multi-billion-dollar multimedia franchise that incorporates games, books, toys, and films. The game was followed by its sequel, Halo 3, in September 2007. And that was our top 5 FPS shooters before 2010.
Please comment below if you have any favorite first-person shooters from before 2010 that you want to add to this list as well.
Thanks for watching, and stay tuned on our next
Top 5. Like, share, subscribe,
comment!